It's you. It's real. Live.
How long has she been like this?
Like what?
I don't know what else I can do to help you.
Give me that. Lots of it.
That's not going to solve your problem.
Fear not. Mary of Magdala. You saw her?
Yes, teacher. Perfectly restored and radiant.
Wait!
At the hairdressers at the market.
Who did this?
I don't know his name. He called me Mary. He said, I am his. I am redeemed.
And it was so?
I don't understand it myself. But here is what I can tell you.
Hey guys, I'm literally putting on my makeup right now as I talk to you because Shawn and I have to pack things into the U-Haul and head on over to our new place. But since we were talking about The Chosen and we were talking about the Great Reset, and I just thought, you know what, I might as well just complete this as a chosen topic of discussion. And this is going to be the beginning of many episodes moving forward talking about The Chosen. We're going to start today. We're going to get back on The Chosen bandwagon. So anyways, in my Chosen devotional, for the Reset topic of discussion, they're talking about John the Baptist and how people came in masses to be baptized in the wilderness by John the Baptist. So they were themselves wanting to start anew within their soul. You know what? That's why you want to be baptized, right? You want to get closer to God, and you're tired of the old and you need the new. Okay. Corinne's version anyway. Noah and his family, they were the only ones that were spared by the flood. And when they stepped out of that boat, they entered into a whole new world. And I'm assuming that was wilderness-like, right? It was a new world. And then God told Abraham to leave everything behind and follow him into the wilderness to the home he would show him. Moses led the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt and into the wilderness, where they would walk for 40 years before reaching the promised land. It's crazy to think that to 2020 and moving into 2021, we're already starting to see things move into a new world, and going into a new world can be really scary. And so I think that's why it's really important to have hope and have faith. What's beautiful about this devotional, if you've never purchased it, I think you should, because at the very end, they give you a little information about the Bible and things like that, but then they give you questions, food for thought, to sort of help you grow as a person. And I like to always go through that with you guys and give you some of my experiences, because it helps me. But I hope that if I give you some little tidbits of things that have happened to me, maybe you can relate, and hopefully it'll help you too. And that's my main goal here. And hopefully it'll help everyone, including myself, just by talking about it. One of the topics about moving forward here, it says, describe a time in your life when you experienced the wilderness. How did God meet you there? Well, that's a really big one for me, and just thinking about it gives me a little bit of the shakes, like I start shaking. I've wanted to kind of discuss this with you guys in the past, but I've been actually fearful to do so because it's so deep embedded into my heart and into my soul. But I'm going to go ahead and do it today. I had a moment in my life where everything that I knew, everything that I loved, and everything that I worked for, I worked really, really hard for, was literally ripped out from underneath me by individuals who were dishonest, and I trusted, and I allowed myself to be vulnerable. And it wasn't just one person, it was a lot of people. I would say a handful. And one of the things about me is that I've always wanted to live my life, and I've never wavered, and that's the truth. I've never wavered from being who I am as a person, and allowing myself to be vulnerable around others, and allow them to see who I truly am as a person. And that means all of the flaws, and that means all of the insecurities, aspects of my life that are private, but I always feel like being genuine, true, and sincere is a beautiful quality. But what's really sad about that is that other human beings will take advantage of that, and they will use it to their advantage, because unfortunately You learn the hard way that people are selfish, that they don't care if they literally take everything from you, and then they take the things about you and use them to hurt you for their advantage. And I had that happen. And there were people that I loved, like, that literally believed and followed these people. And I was tested because I had to choose to just let it happen, because I didn't want to play in the mud. You know the term, like, playing in the mud with pigs? Not to be rude or crass, but I don't ever want to be that person. So I packed up my things and put them over my shoulder, and I turned my back and I closed the door, and it tore me up in every way, shape it could. But I'll tell you this, although I feel emotional because I had to say goodbye to people that I loved, people that were innocent, people that were not trying to hurt me, that were not trying to be dishonest. And I wasn't ever, 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 ever able to tell my truth. Never. Never. And even still, I'm being very careful about what I'm saying. And I just let it all happen. Because I put it in God's hands. And I'm going to let him handle it. And I'm still letting him handle it. And I know that he is going to do it on his time. It's hard for me to think that people are so dishonest and so cruel to someone who only wants to love and care and give everything about that they can give to them for other people. It's hard to say. But I do want to say that God placed little angels in there for me to help me through. You know, I guess the only way that I can think about it is, like, if someone crushed you, your bones and your body, this was someone manipulating a situation where other people were listening to them. So in doing so, this person crushed my whole entire soul and everything that I felt that I was. And so it almost felt like being broken, your body and your bones. But there were people there that, like, lifted me up and helped me get on my feet again, especially my husband. And for those people, I'm so grateful for them, so grateful for them. And it was hard for me because I kept pushing on. I kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing on. It's amazing to me, you guys, how people allow evil into their heart and soul, and they really just lose sight of what's truly important in the world. You know, I just kept having people coming at me that were doing things that were just, well, in the grand scheme of life, they were petty and immature and childish and ridiculous. And I had to end up closing the doors and just taking care of myself and staying away from people for a while. And that was hard for me to do, because I'm a bubbly, fun, typically I'm a fun, bubbly person, and to close myself away from other people because I have to heal because of their, quite honestly, their actual issues that they're pushing onto me, was crazy. So anyways, going out into the wilderness for me was turning my back on everything that I knew and everything that I loved, because it wasn't right for me anymore. It was actually wrong. Everything about it was wrong, and the people were taking from me, and not allowing me to be myself. I don't know. It's so hard to say, but I definitely am building anew, and it doesn't happen overnight, because things still keep coming at you. But one of the things that I've noticed is that it does bring me closer to God. And I'm so grateful for The Chosen, because watching it through this process that I'm going through has helped me a ton. It's brought me closer to God. I was always close to God, but I know that He's holding my hand throughout all of this, and I just constantly always have faith in him and where he wants us to go. Even sometimes when I feel defeated, I know that he's there for me, because I do see all of the blessings, and I hope you guys do too in your life. If you're having big changes where you have to change and maybe let go of people that you once loved because maybe they're destructive or unhealthy for you, and you honestly are losing yourself, because that's where I was. I just could not see me anymore. I couldn't. And so, in all honesty, having the strength and the courage to walk away was huge. So when you ask the question, how did God meet me there? It's hard to put into words, because it's a soul thing as opposed to a physical thing. But if you think about it, like I told you, how he met me there was there were people who helped me, literally, who believed in me and refused to listen. And they chose to open up their eyes and look and see what's actually in front of them. To think, okay, that story doesn't add up. Hold on a second. That doesn't make sense from what I know. I'm grateful for those people. I'm very, 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 very grateful for those people. And I feel like God puts those people in your life. And this person could not find a way to destroy me in the way that they wanted to. Everything that they were trying to do was to take me down, even my marriage. And I'll tell you, it made me think about God. It made me think about Jesus. It made me think about the people that he trusted. It made me think about the people that he loved and them doing the same thing to him. And all he wanted to do was love and give and cherish. And that's how I've always been my whole entire life. I never want to hurt anyone, ever. I wouldn't do that to someone. And so I'm grateful for the people that knew me and they weren't willing to listen to lies and deceit and someone who wanted to literally just steal and destroy. Because, you know, in my opinion, that is someone who's, and this I'm not trying to be mean, but that's a person who's insecure. That's a person who can't get things that they want their way, so they'll take other people down and try to cast shadows and lies. And unfortunately, you know what's so hurtful for me is the people who really don't think for themselves. Like, they literally go, oh wow, really? Like, they feed off of drama and they feed off of like this weird stuff. And you know what's painful is the people who unfortunately are supposed to be the beacons in our world. Some of those people were supposed to be beacons of light. How painful is that? But I think that's it. You know, it's like in your darkest hour when you have that person say, I believe in you. When you have that person call you up and say, this was said, and I'm just like, I'm disgusted by that because I know that that is not the truth. And then they are your voice for you. And God taught me to be strong, to be so strong, because to fight people and stoop to their level never makes you feel good about yourself. And they wanted me to. They wanted me to. They wanted me to fight. And I gave them all the opportunity to say everything that they wanted about me that were flat out lies and heartbreaking and destroyed my entire soul. But I knew that if I were to go to battle with them, I would lose. I would lose who I was. And I wasn't willing to do that. Because I know that I'm a good person, and I know that I come from a good place, and I have a beautiful soul, and I'm not willing to let them take that too. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, you guys, I feel like I'm rambling, but if there are things in your life that might be turning upside down, that might be God's way of telling you, guess what? It's time to leave. And I think about Noah. You know, all of the people in that world were destructive and vile. And God believed in Noah. And so he, my dogs are underneath my feet right now, want my attention. But he took him and put him somewhere else. And I do believe God has done that for Shawn and I. And does that mean that everything's perfect? Absolutely not. But I know he's protecting us. I know he's protecting us. I know that I have him with me. Because if I chose to do the things that these other people are doing, I know God wouldn't be in my soul. There's no way. I wouldn't be led by the Holy Spirit if I wanted to play in the mud with the people that are destructive, you know? But I would love to know your stories. If you'd like to leave them in the comments down below, you guys. And I hope that I was helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And the next one is actually called Tested. So we'll talk about that next. And then, of course, stay tuned. We'll talk about season 2. Much love to you guys. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, weekend, night, whenever you're watching. But sayonara for now. I gotta put on the rest of my makeup. Okay. Bye, guys. I'm gonna take you right into the danger zone.